This is the tutorial for the core paper. Make sure you work through the questions your teachers asked you to. Cubes and spheres. What is the ratio of cubes to spheres? There are 5 cubes to every 3 spheres. The next question just changes the order around. 3 spheres to every 5 cubes. What fraction of the shapes are cubes? Well, there are 5 cubes out of 8 shapes. Number 2. Tick which ones are true. First of all, we've got 4 lots of a sixth means the same as a sixth added together 4 times. That is true. That's the definition of multiplying by 4, adding 4 times. And you've also got that 4 times a sixth is 4 lots of a sixth. Well, that's also true. Now, some of us got a bit confused here because if the top one here is true, this one can't be true because a sixth plus a sixth plus a sixth plus a sixth, if I had it as a diagram, okay, if I add a sixth plus a sixth plus a sixth plus a sixth, I've just got 4 sixths. My pieces haven't suddenly become 20/4. My denominator stayed the same, so this is not true. And the last one was trickier. 4 lots of a sixth, we already know to be 4 sixths. But for those of you who know how to simplify, you could halve both of those and get 2/3, which is the same as this one. Number 3. Plot these points. Let's start with A. Please make sure you label them. So 3 along, because we always go across first. 3 along and 4 up is here. And I label that A. Now I go 3 along and 1 down because it's -1. B. And for C, -2 and 4. Now a few of you, when you drew these, didn't actually get 3 points in a square. And since it then says make it a square, you might have then at that point realised something went wrong and maybe tried to replot your points rather than drawing parallelograms, etc. Okay, so to make it a square, it's going to have to be there. And you could draw it into a square if you want, but you don't have to. Okay, a circle has a radius of 5 centimetres. Remember, a radius is from the centre to the rim. Now we know the circumference is found by doing pi times the diameter. My diameter is not 5. My diameter is all the way across. So I've got 5 there and 5 there. So my diameter is 10. So I'm doing pi times 10. I can take pi as 3.14. So I actually don't need a calculator for that because 3.14 times 10 is 31.4. They can be simplified. In order for them to be simplified, they have to both have the same letter. For example, 3a plus 4a, that would be because it's 7a. 3a plus 4 don't have anything in common. Can't do it. 7a's take away an a, that can be because 7a's take away an a is 6a's. 3a plus 4b, no, they're different letters. 3a squared plus a, one of them's squared, one of them's not. So only those two. So the probability I pick one that can be simplified is 2 out of the 5 that I have. Number 6. This recipe makes 4 muffins. Not very tasty muffins. There are very few ingredients. More likely to make fairy cakes, to be honest. Yeah, rubbish recipe. Anyway, makes 4 muffins. For 12 muffins, I'd need 3 lots of this. I have to times it by 3. Who makes 4 muffins anyway? Who needs 250 grams? It's a bad recipe. Don't use this recipe. Okay, so I'm going to times everything by 3. You've actually got a calculator, so there's no excuse to get this wrong. Okay. Sam wants to make 2 muffins because he doesn't want to help other people, Doesn't want to give out muffins, just wants to have 2 muffins for himself, and stop there. 2 muffins from 4 muffins would mean I'd have to halve it all. Well, fine for halving the flour, but halving the egg, halving an egg is very hard. And loads of you understood that. Okay. Number 7. Tommy says that the 0.54 lies on the line y equals x. Well, no, it can't, because y equals x. Y has to be the same as x, and x and y are different. X equals 5, y equals 4, not 5 does not equal 4. Y has to equal x. They don't. This one's a bit trickier. Let's try it. This is x and this is y. So if I had x and y, if I put x as 2 into this equation, I'd have y equals 6 minus 2 lots of x, which is 2. So y equals 6 take away 4, which is 2. And that is true here. So yes, 2 is here. Right. Pounds and dollars. Maz changes £200 into dollars. Well, £1 gives you $1.25. £200, I would have to times that by 200, times this by 200, which is $250. You've got a calculator, use it. Now for part B, it's a different exchange rate. $1 to 60p. He has $30. So you times 30 times 30 is 1,800p. £18. Number 9. Got some trees. In which class interval means in which of these would a 10-metre tree be placed? Well, there's 2 that have 10. If you look really carefully, one of them includes 10 and one of them doesn't. So it has to be the first one. How many are more than 30 metres? Well, these and these are more than 30 metres. So I have to add them. Number 10. A little bit of confusion we had here. This is a head. This is a tail. It's not a lion. I mean, it is a lion, but it's called a tail. Every coin has one, a head and a tail. Right, possible outcomes. Flipping 2. You could either have head, head, tail, tail, head, tail, or tail, head. That's all you have to write. That's it. Job done. Probability that they both show heads. Well, out of the 4 outcomes, only one of them is heads, heads. Some of you said it was 1 out of 3, but heads and then tails is different from tails and then heads, especially as we've got a 2p and a 10p. But it would be different anyway. Those are considered as separate outcomes. Number 11. Pizza. Ziki buys a full pizza. She eats 1/4 of the pizza. Gone. 3/4 are left. She cuts it into 6. And you have a calculator. So you could literally put that in your calculator. Or, in fact, I don't know how you guys did this. You did this really well. Maybe you did it just by looking at cutting that into 6. A lot of you got this right. But if you're going to do it this method, you could do 3/4 times the reciprocal of 6, 1/6, or literally put that into your calculator. And here you get 3/24, which is 1/8. Again, calculator, use it. Right, some people did amazingly, some people forgot. This line goes through which axes? It goes through the y-axis. Where does it go through the y-axis? At 2. When y equals 2, oh, look at that, that's the equation. Now draw the line y equals -2, y -2, and then you join it on. There we are, job done. Y equals -2. Very few people drew a diagram for this. 3/5. Let's draw a diagram. Fifths. 3/5. That's girls. In a school, there are 875 students. 875. How many parts is that altogether? 5. So you divide it by 5. Calculator. 175. And you want boys. Boys are these part. Boys, boys. So there's 2 parts. So you do 175 times 2. 350. I got a straight line. This distance, right, I'm just going to draw the line on. It says that the distance of A to B is the same as the distance from B to C. It's going to join my line up. Oh, sorry, just tried to draw that line and it went disastrously. There. Okay, mine's gone a bit wibbled. Okay, that's better. Now I've got my distances here. To get from B to C, I go 1, 2, 3 across, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. This will be my coordinate A, and the coordinate of that is -1 across, -4. Please put it in brackets, it's a coordinate. Number 15. A couple of people did really well. Lots of people didn't do so great. Let's use our scale. 1 to 20,000. This is my map. This is my reel. On my map, I've got 23.5. What's that on my reel? Well, times that by 23.5, after times that by 23.5. You got a calculator, use it. But in real life, no one walks around with a centimetre ruler and says, oh, let's just measure my distance in centimetres. So we need to make this into kilometres. Let's make it into metres first. To make it into metres, we divide by 100, 470 metres. Sorry, I apologise, there should be another 0 here. 4,700 metres. Obviously, I didn't use a calculator. Okay, and to make it into kilometres, you divide by 1,000. 4.7. Okay. 4.7. Okay. Generally, this one was answered pretty well, except some people didn't use a ruler. So for the first bit, you just have to literally extend to the next triangle. So I'm going to use my nice little ruler and extend the line on. And then I'm going to rub out the bits I don't need. Okay. There's my beautiful little triangle that I used a ruler for. Use a ruler. Funny, I feel like I've been saying the same thing my whole time I've been teaching you. Coordinates of shape 6. Oh, well that would be above, wouldn't it? So the first coordinate's already there. Now remember, we'll go x first. So it goes 0 across and then 10 up. But each time they're 4 high, so I need to go another 4. Well, 4 above 10. 0 across, 14 up. And then my vertex over here will be between 10 and 14, 12. And it'll be in the negative side, so it'll be the same as that, which is negative 4. Number 17, last question. Megan is researching whether the younger you are, the more text messages you send. 15 people she's asked in her family. It's not a lot of data. Does the data reflect that? Well, no. No correlation. There's no pattern. No. Goes up and down all over the place. There are 2 clusters. Here and here. Why might they be? Loads of you talk to me about this one. Really young people don't have mobile phones. Yeah? Really young kids, babies, toddlers. Kids don't use phones. Looks like I forgot the U there, but I didn't. Okay, job done.